So, good afternoon, everyone. And on behalf of the Theosophical Society, I welcome you all to the 24th session of talks in the series of talks organized under the theme of Wisdom for Living by the Theosophical Society, which is mainly coordinated by a long-term member whom we all know as Mr. Ram Kumar, and every month he brings to us someone with a lot of experience in their respective field to share their experiences, not only experiences, but a lot of knowledge and wisdom that people who find it useful can apply it in their daily life. Also, it is a matter of great pleasure to share with all of you that most of you may already be aware of it, that this is the 150th year of foundation since the Theosophical Society was founded in New York in 1875 and later acquired its international headquarters here in Adyar in 1882. And the Theosophical Society was the organ which was founded basically to propagate what is called theosophy, which is also known as Brahma Vidya or ageless wisdom, which we find in scriptures of all kind, Oriental and Occidental, in different expressions. But ultimately, if we see or observe in all those scriptures and theosophy, the fundamental of that philosophy is oneness of life, the interconnectedness of life, that nobody in this world can remain isolated and be happy. Whether not just humans, but also plants, animals, and lives which is being expressed in different forms. And Annie Besant, who was the second international president of the Theosophical Society, on request of some of the members that if she can make it in few lines what the Theosophy of Philosophy says, she wrote in 1923 a very poetic stanza which now we call as universal prayer. So I invite all of you to please rise, and you can follow me in the universal prayer while meditating on each and every word of that prayer. O hidden life, vibrant in every atom, O hidden light, shining in every creature, O hidden love, embracing all in oneness. May all who feel themselves as one with Thee know they are therefore one with every other. Please be seated. And when this realization of oneness of life happens, service, compassion, and love for everyone is the natural outcome of this realization. So, that is why the purpose of Theosophical Society, if we see the mission of the Theosophical Society, mission statements, it also says it begins with to serve humanity with knowledge of ageless wisdom, spiritual self-transformation and everything. But why this wisdom for living talks have been initiated is because very often there is a misconception that wisdom can only be found in monasteries with monks or only with a spiritual teacher, religious teacher. But if that we think of wisdom, then I think that is we are fragmenting wisdom also. Because wisdom is all pervasive. And that's why it is wisdom, because it can see everything as a whole. So we cannot separate our daily life, whether I'm an engineer or a doctor or a professor or teacher or architect or businessman. Wherever I am, I can, if I want to, implement that wisdom. That is relating with others, my environment. And in this series of talks, that's why we invite speakers from across the spectrum of human activity. And how they have found a way that apart from their profession that they are following, to relate with human values, how to go deeper than just superficial interaction between each other. We have till now the talks on ecology, spiritual values, science, artificial intelligence, also finance and humor, and a lot of such subjects. And those who have missed those talks or who want to watch it again, they are all available on our YouTube channel, Theosophical Society Adyar YouTube channel. You can subscribe to that channel. And along this line of very valuable source of knowledge and wisdom that we have had till now, we have today among us someone who is going to talk to us about a very important aspect of our existence, which is our physical body. Because without physical body, we cannot work on this plane. So the topic of today is obesity and how to tackle obesity. Why? Because it can increase the risk of many serious health conditions. And obesity problems and how to tackle it, we are going to hear on this subject by Dr. Vishwanath Pai, who is an experienced surgical gastroenterologist with 24 years of credibility in his profession in Chennai. He is the first surgeon in India to perform thyroid surgery through the oral route from the mouth. His forte is advanced laparoscopic surgery, including obesity. Dr. Vishwanath holds, no need to mention, he holds a lot of degrees, many of which we might not understand: MBBS, MS, FRCS, FACS, diploma, laparoscopy. And he can treat a wide range of general surgery conditions like appendicitis, facial nerve disorders, hernia, peritonitis, pilometricoma, and more. And as a general surgeon, he also performs surgery on male infertility, andrology, colorectal appendix surgery, gallbladder stone surgery, piles treatment, etc. And he received a diploma in laparoscopy in France, a DNB from National Board Examination, and MS in general surgery. Furthermore, Dr. Pai is involved as an examiner for undergraduates and postgraduates in surgery in universities including Manipal University and Dr. MGR Medical University, Chennai. He is registered under the Tamil Nadu Medical Council and a member of the Indian Association of Gastrointestinal Endosurgeons. He is a retired professor of surgery, ex-head of the Department of Surgery, SRMC Chennai, and now, currently, he is the consultant surgeon at Apollo Hospital in Chennai. So, with these words, I invite Dr. Vishwanath Pai to share his thoughts on obesity and how to tackle its problems. Dr. Vishwanath Pai.
Kind words you have used. How this came about was about this talk. I had met Dr. Ram Kumar about 15 days back our old story. He happens to be my schoolmate, my classmate in school. So we had a get together about 15 days back in a hotel, and there he told me, "Can you talk on some medical topic?" See, I am a retired professor from S.R. Ramchandra Medical College, and 35 years I was there, and all my talks, everything I thought I was done with. Nowadays I don't talk much, but when Mr. Ramkumar requested, there's no way I can say no. So that is the background of how this started. Now, regarding the topic, why I chose obesity is, it's so common, and we are treating obesity also. I'm involved in treating obesity. It's so common, and there are so many problems the patient come, and people do not realize how serious this problem is. So that is why I really don't know whether it will be very relevant for this kind of audience. But Mrs. Ramkumar, she said it is a trending topic, so I was happy to hear those words from her. So with this small introduction, we'll get into the topic. Now, the definition, there are various definitions, we may not exactly correlate. See, obesity is defined as excess of body fat to such an extent that it is deleterious to health. Okay? Now, this is important because just overweight may not be cause of obesity. If you see very muscular people who are very well built, they will have they weigh a lot because of the muscle weight. So they will not come under this category. Okay? Here it is because of the fat content. Now, we can't say just by looking at a person whether he is obese or not. There are some criteria to say it is obesity. It is based on BMI, that is body mass index. Now, how to calculate this body mass index is weight divided by the height in meters. Now, my weight is 68 kilos. So, 68 kilos divided by my height in meters. 174 centimeters, which is 1.74 meters. So 68, I think you can do it for yourself. You can just, if you have a phone, just take the calculator and see, you will know your BMI. Weight divided by, that is 68 divided by 1.74, and whatever number you get, you again divide it by 1.74. So that will be so weight by height in height meter squared. Okay. Now, how much was it? 24.
Don't try.
So, now 20 to 20 to 25 BMI is the ideal body weight. Less than 20 is underweight. That is also not good. That is also the other extreme. Anything extreme is not good. 25 to 30 is overweight. And over 30, we call it as obesity. Over 30, we call it as obesity. And it is graded into 30 to 35, class 1, 35 to 40, class 2, and above 40, it is called as class 3 or morbid obesity. Morbid means it can cause serious problems, which can sort of incapacitate you. So, those kind of problems. Now, we think that only the weight is important. Weight is not at all important. I mean, weight is important, but height is equally important, because if you are weighing even 100 kilos, but if your height is say 2 meters, we hardly come across anybody. But if your height is 2 meters, it is 100 divided by 2, which is 50, which is again divided by 2, which is 25, which will come under the normal category. That is, even 100 kilos will come under the ideal range. Okay. Whereas we go to the other extreme. Let us say a person is only having a height of 1 meter. Here you take suppose his weight is say 30 or 35 kilos.
35 kilos divided by 1 is 35, and again divided by 1, again 35. So, even a person with 35 kilos may be overweight, and even a 100 kilos person may not be overweight. So, height is equally important. This is important in India because our race is generally on the shorter side compared to, say, the Western. You are much taller than us. That is why, because of the height factor, many people will come under this category in India. It is estimated, next slide. It is estimated, I cannot see it. Can this come forward? Yeah. Versus European. It is estimated that a child, an Indian child of 2.5 kilos, newborn, a child of 2.5 kilos, which is newborn, and a 3.5 kilos European child, newborn, have the same amount of fat. That means if you see 2.5 to 3.5, the ratio is 5:7. So, 5 Indian kids will have the same amount of fat as 7 European kids, newborn. And from there it goes on increasing. Now, when we say fat, there are two types of fat. One is just under the skin, which just makes us look very fat. But there is another type of fat which is internal fat, that is inside our cavities. This is the thorax, then abdomen you have. So inside those cavities you have excess fat. That is called as visceral fat. We call it visceral fat. The other one is the subcutaneous, under the skin, subcutaneous fat. So the visceral fat is more. And unfortunately, Indians have a higher than normal visceral fat, which is the one which will cause problems. Okay, so that is a fact which is what I have mentioned, Indian versus European. Now, causes. Causes, one is genetic. If there are some families in whom they invariably become fat. So, one is genetic. Generally in India, the genetic factor is very high. Then second is, of course, overeating. Now everybody, eating has become so easy. You don't even have to go outside. You just call Swiggy or one of those. Even my, my 2-year-old granddaughter and grandson, they will tell Swiggy, Zepto. They are able to identify Zomato, Zepto, Swiggy from each other by the color. They know which one is which color. So that is why every day some 5-6 parcels come to my house. I have not ever, I don't order anything, but 5-6 parcels come to my house, and my 2-year-old grandkid will identify what it is. So that is so it's making people very lazy. So overeating. Next is very, very sedentary life. Okay, so how to get over this sedentary life? See, if people keep using lifts. I never used lift in Ramchandra. Whenever I was there in Ramchandra, even if I had to go to the 7th floor, I will climb. I never used to go by the lift. See, that is the, sort of discipline I had in this aspect. I'm not disciplined in everything, but at least this aspect I was disciplined. So, but generally the people's attitude is, if you can lie down, you lie down. Next best thing, sit down. Only if you cannot lie down, cannot sit down, you have to stand. Then walking is next. There is the extreme. Running is... So it is like that. I'm talking more of... but this is actually the fact. People try to avoid exercise and this thing. So combination of overeating, combination of with very sedentary life, and genetic factors will make India in a very, very bad situation. That is how it is today. Now, these are some of the causes. Then there are various other causes which, general public, you need not know, endocrine causes, so many other causes. Then we have to treat actually the cause. Now, what are the effects on the body? Now, all our organs are created in such a way that it will cater to your ideal body weight. So, our heart, our kidneys, our liver, every organ, even our knees, knee joint, everything is made for you to bear the ideal body weight, to cater to the ideal body weight. Now, if your weight is excess, suppose your ideal body weight is 75, should be 75, and you are weighing, say, 175. Now, this extra 100 kilos has to be taken care of. See, the heart is an organ which has got no rest. Every other organ can take rest. Okay, but the heart, from the time of birth till the time of death, the heart stops, the person is dead. So, for heart there is no rest. So, if you are going to overwork the heart, for a 75 kilo heart which is meant to cater to a 75 kilos, if you give it a workload of say 175 kilos, obviously the heart will fail at some time. There's nothing great in that, it's very easy to understand that. Likewise, our knee joint, see, we stand on our legs. Our knees are, you have a thigh bone and you have a leg bone. So they meet there in the knee joint. Now this knee joint is very notorious to get worn off because of the wear and tear. Just like a car tire gets worn out after 30,000, 40,000 kilometers, something like that. Okay, so but even for a normal person who is even having the ideal body weight, if he is he will get, or he or she will get knee problems if they live long enough, because of the normal wear and tear. But if you give it overload, see, the same 100 kilos you give extra to the knee joint, you can imagine. So every organ like that will collapse. Now this will not happen within 1 or 2 years. It may not happen even 10, 15 years, but it will happen one fine day, you will land up with this problem. Previous slide. Okay. So in cardiology, the obese patients will have a heart problem, heart failure. They go to the thing. Blood clotting. See, blood is not supposed to clot. In our body, in a blood vessel, the blood should not clot. But in these people, very, very obese people, they are more prone for blood clots. Now, if the blood clots in the heart, it will cause a heart attack. If the blood clots in the small vessels supplying the brain, you will get a stroke, or whichever part of the brain. They may get some other, not necessarily stroke, other types of brain problems. Okay, so stroke, very, very common in these patients. Endocrine, see, because these fat is present in the fat cells, and they also have other hormones. Fat cells have other hormones. So excessive fat will produce more of female hormones, and it will produce infertility. So now infertility, if you go around Chennai city, there are so many infertility clinics, isn't it? So a good number of these infertility patients, especially for female, is because of obesity. They call polycystic, or they have multiple cysts in the ovaries and other things, and which is very often associated with obesity. They also have even sexual problems. See, the males, they have it is very, very commonly associated with obesity, which they will not come out unless you go into it. Okay. Neuro, I already told, they can have problems like stroke and other parts of the brain getting affected, and accordingly this one. Psychiatry. Generally, the obese people, very obese people are made fun of. See, if you, especially in schools, if you see by the forgot to mention, the schools, do you know the incidence of obesity nowadays? The recent statistics. Do anybody, just take a guess? Yeah, it is close to 50%. It's not 50%, but close to 50%. The incidence of obesity in schools. And there is people, people think that only the rich are overweight. It is not like that. Whether it is rich, whether it is middle class, whether it is poor class, the obesity is very, very common. Now, what happens in psychiatric problems is, because people make fun of them, they withdraw. They withdraw, they from the society, they tend to they develop psychiatric problems. Okay, very rarely it will go in the other way. See, like, I'll tell you an example. We had one, I used to play cricket for my college. So, for my college staff team in Ramchandra. So, we had a very fat person who was very good in cricket. So, when he used to bat, everybody used to come and watch. Because Gundar, they used to call him, and so very rarely it will act in the other way, but mostly it is a negative, this one, which will cause a lot of psychiatric issues. Next slide. Locomotion, see, this is what I meant. The hip joint, the knee joint, they bear the entire body weight. Okay, so over a period of time, what happens is, these become, see, in a car, in a car you can easily change the tires. But we can't go on, of course, knee replacement surgery is there, I'm not saying no, but you can't just, it will never be like a natural knee. Okay, and you can't do it again and again. So, it gets worn out. So, they have problem in locomotion. So, they try to restrict. I had one doctor friend. He'll calculate the easiest way to the canteen, the shortest way. He'll calculate and he'll take that route. So, but these are all problems because they find it really difficult to move. That is the problem. And what happens is, when they move less, they burn less calories. When they burn less calories, weight will increase. The weight will increase, again less locomotion. So, it becomes like what we call as a vicious cycle. So, we have to break the cycle somewhere. Otherwise, it will go on like a multiplying effect. Diabetes. Diabetes is much more common in obese persons than non-obese people. Okay, and diabetes, it's a serious problem, because diabetes has got its own problems. If you go to every hospital, if you go to eye hospital, you will find lot of diabetic complications in the eye. If you go to a, say, kidney center, lot of chronic kidney failures are because of diabetes. If foot problems, heart problems, virtually diabetes affects every organ in the body. So, that is again another serious problem, very commonly associated with obesity. These people have high TGL, means triglycerides. These people have high triglycerides and cholesterol, and that can cause a lot of issues. So, they can again responsible for getting deposited in the blood vessels. See, what we call as atherosclerosis. So, what happens is, if you have say, brain is supplied by some blood vessels. All this TGL, cholesterol, they get deposited in the blood vessel. So, what happens is, the blood vessel becomes narrower and narrower. The blood flowing to the brain becomes narrower. So, it will, then at some critical point, it will cause paralysis or some other problem. Same way with the heart. So, anywhere in the body, in the lower limb, it can occlude the lower limb, it can occlude in the abdomen, including the abdominal organs. So many different ways it can present. Once the TGL and cholesterol goes up, these problems will come into play. And sudden death is also much more common in obesity than in non-obese patients. Of course, in non-obese patients also it can happen. And usually sudden deaths are because of blood clotting. See, now you must have heard of this Puneet Rajkumar, isn't it? He had a very sudden death. Nobody expected. He was a very, very fit person. Very, very fit person. But what happens is, even these fit people, how they get is, if once they start exercising, they lose a lot of water because of sweating. And they have to periodically take water with salt to replenish that. Otherwise, what happens is, see, this sweat is nothing but it is coming from the blood itself. So the blood becomes thicker, and thick blood will tend to clot. So in a small blood vessel, if you have very thick blood, it tends to slow down. See, if it keeps flowing, nothing will happen. But if it slows down, it will occlude, and you will get. So probably what he had was an acute thrombus. There is acute clot formation in the heart. Probably overconfidence, doing more than normal exercise, not taking adequate water. All this could have been the problem in that person. That's what. This is what I previous slide. Next. Organs of body meant for the ideal body weight, which I have already explained. Again, incidence in India, it is very, very common. It is very common. We see, one of the treatments of obesity is surgery. Some surgeries are available. Okay. Now, I don't know the reason, but due to some reason in South India, people do not opt for surgery to reduce the weight, whereas people opt for reduction of weight in North India. The surgeries for obesity is much more they are doing in North India, especially Mumbai, Delhi, all these places. They are doing a lot of cases. Even in places like Indore, in a place Madhya Pradesh, Indore, so many people who are undergoing surgery for. But here in Chennai, not much. If you talk to people, see, we identify certain people in master health checkup, counsel them. So once they are beyond a certain, once they are grossly 200 kilos and all, they never in their life, without surgery, they can never become normal. But they don't opt for it. I don't know, there is a lot of reluctance in South India, especially in Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Even Karnataka is better. Okay. The misconceptions again, only the rich will become, no. A lot of middle class and in the lower middle class, even poor people, they have this. One of the reasons is, see, if you ask the patient, இல்லை சார் நான் சாப்பிட்றதே இல்லை, இவ்வளோதான் சார் சாப்பிட்றேன், ஒரே ஒரு இவ்வளோதான் சார், ஒரு இட்லி இவ்வளோதான். So what happens is, for you to put on weight, you have calories which are coming in and calories which are burning out. If both are same, there is no problem, you will stay in the same this one. Now the body has got inherent capacity to maintain a normal body weight even if you eat excess. Okay? See, it is like an AC air conditioner. You set the temperature as at 20 degrees. Once it comes to 20 degrees, you shut off and it will stop. Then only the fan will work, the compressor will not work. Then again, once the temperature starts, again the compressor. So it will maintain the temperature around 20 degrees. But what happens, the same system is there in our body also. Whatever you eat, however much you eat, your body should maintain you in the ideal body weight. But this fails in most of these people who tend to put on weight. Again, because of genetic reasons, so many other reasons. There's a failure of the automatic control. So we have to be aware and control it if it doesn't control by itself. So that is the reason why even the poor people, even though they eat less, you may not to that extent, because of genetic and other factors, they put on weight. And especially ladies after delivery, If you see them before delivery, at the time of marriage, after marriage they put on weight. After delivery, much more. The reason is after delivery, they are not allowed to do any work in their house. No, நீங்க பண்ணாதீங்க. அதெல்லாம் பண்ண. So see, whereas in Western, this one, there is after delivery, there is such a big program for the tummy. What happens is your tummy, which is supposed to be straight, becomes round, almost round. So there is so much of stretching of the tissues. And this stretching happens for months to 9 months. Isn't it? So when the stretching happens, it will not go back to its original length. Okay? So it tends to sag. For that, you are supposed to do some exercises and that get the muscle tone back. It will never become like the original one, but you can bring it as close to the original one as possible. But what happens is, in India, the lady after delivery is not allowed to work. They don't follow this rehab, post-delivery exercises. Nobody does. Even in my house, even though my wife is a gynecologist, my daughter-in-law didn't have this thing, even though I told. So I can understand how serious this problem is. It's almost uniform. Very, very sad to see it. Next. What is wrong with our food habits? This is important because normally when you eat for the entire day, you are supposed to eat at least 40 to 50% in the breakfast time. Then another 30-40% in the lunch time. And dinner time only 10 to 15%. That is how you are supposed to eat. So it is like a pyramid. So maximum in the daytime, the afternoon becomes less, night very minimal. Why? You can ask me why do you want to have? If you see any hotel, they always have a breakfast, bed and breakfast, the very, very extensive. Most hotels they will have. That is the correct way. You have to maximum eat in the daytime. If you eat maximum in the daytime, you are going to work for the entire day. So what you eat will get burnt up. Those calories will get burnt up. Okay. Whereas if you do it the other way, see, this is another very, very common thing in India. Morning, everybody is in a hurry. Just 2 slices of bread, they run. Afternoon, they may not again have much time to eat. Some little bit of lunch. And night is the time when everybody has a lot of time. The family, maximum full. So it is like a inverted pyramid. It's the other way. So instead of pyramid being like this, it becomes like this. When you eat in the night, what happens is you go and sleep after that. So your calories are not burnt at all. So you will straight away go into storage. See, it is like a bank balance. You put 10,000 rupees, you remove 10,000 rupees, bank balance will remain same. You go put 10,000 rupees, put another 10,000 rupees, don't withdraw at all, go on 10,000, 10,000. Finally, and don't withdraw, what will happen? The bank balance will it will increase, isn't it? So same thing here, go on putting calories, don't burn the calories, it will all add up. And whatever you eat, whether it is carbohydrates, everything, finally it is stored as fat. So it will result in obesity. The other thing is, which is wrong with our food habit, is you are supposed to take 60% carbohydrates, 20% protein, and around 20% fat. If you see our diet, it has, especially the 3 sambar, rasam, curd, everything is with rice. Everything is with rice. So the carbohydrate is the maximum. Okay. And the amount of the calories in biryani, especially chicken, mutton biryani, is so high. See, our calorie requirement for a normal person doing a moderate amount of work is anywhere between 1600 to 2000. But if you eat excess of, say, biryani, a lot of biryani you take, that itself will come to some 800 calories. Okay, 100 gram of rice will cost roughly about 150 calories it gives. So imagine if somebody is taking, say, 300 grams of rice, it becomes 450. So you can yourself do the calculation. One banana will around approximately 100 kilos. I mean 100 calories. Sorry, 100 calories. One chapati around 120 calories. So you can count. Invariably, it will exceed this. What is required. So everything gets deposited. Okay. Just like the bank deposit increases, here the fat deposit increases. So these are the things with which our food habits. And the other bad thing with our food is, we go to a hotel, first thing they'll bring water and keep. When you have lunch or whatever, you are not supposed to take water. Okay? The reason is, if you take, say, half a kilo of rice you eat and half and full one bottle of water, what happens is the stomach, the organ where it goes, it becomes stretched. Okay, it becomes stretched. And repeatedly when we do it, it remains stretched. So to fill, now a stretched stomach will be difficult to, see, when we feel full, we stop. If the stomach is stretched beyond a certain limit, for you to feel full itself, it takes long time. You tend to overeat. Then only stomach will feel full. So when you take food along with water, there is too much of stretching of the stomach. Okay? And every time you do it, it becomes permanent. The one more reason why you should not take water with along with the food is, it will, see, if you take food, it is solid. It will remain in the stomach and slowly it is released into the intestines, slowly over a period of, say, 3 to 4 hours. Whereas if you take it with water, it gets diluted. It gets emptied very fast. So what's supposed to empty in 4 hours will empty in 2 hours. And again you will feel hungry. So that is the reason you're not supposed to take water along with food. So when should you take water? You can take it, see, if you're having breakfast at 9 o'clock, you start taking water from around 11:30. Till lunchtime you can go on drinking water, a lot of water. And as soon as, before breakfast also, you can drink a lot of water. After half an hour, water will get quickly leave the stomach and go into the intestine. So you can drink a lot of water, within half an hour afterwards you can eat. That is not a problem. But if you eat and then take water, what I told will happen. And it will have its consequences. So there are a number of things which is wrong with our food habits. Starting with the pyramid and all that, even the high carbohydrate intake, sweets, all these, so many things which are wrong with our food habits. Now, a related topic, fitness, I just thought I asked Ramkumar a little bit. Fitness is, somebody, he looks very fit. You can't tell just by looking at a person that he is fit. Okay, fitness has got 4 components. You take the first letter F and the last 3 FES. Fitness is a combination of flexibility, endurance, speed and strength. So everything, these 4 things should be there in 25%. So it should be there in equal amount. You take a person, say like a wrestler, probably he'll have a lot of strength, but he may not have much of endurance. He may not be able to, his stamina will not be there. Or you take a very lean person who runs marathon 20 kilometers he is able to run, or 40 kilometers marathon he is able to run, but he will not have strength. So there again is a problem. So you should have everything. You should be very flexible also. Very, very flexible. Endurance. Endurance is stamina. And then speed and strength. If you have this ideal all 4, then only we call the person as fit. Just because he is looking trim and this one doesn't mean to say, I mean, we cannot say that he is very fit, because he may not have, he'll have very little flexibility. Okay, right, next. If you go to a gym, they will only concentrate on muscle building. Only, so I used to go to some gym, then I stopped. Because he will tell me to do in a particular, I know what he is telling is wrong. So, they only teach you to build muscle, and take a lot of, this is another big, I really pity those gym people, because slightly digressing from the topic, but again related to that, lot of these gym masters, they take a lot of protein, very, very high. And protein, when you take in large, the egg white, they'll take the egg white, they'll take the yellow of the egg, they boiled egg, and they give it, there is one dog outside the gym, they'll put, that dog has become so fat, because it takes the fat part of it, the yellow. Okay, and these people, and when there is a competition, one person told me, he's a gym fellow, சார் நீங்கள் டாக்டர் தானேம்மா, நான் என்னெல்லாம் பண்ணணும் சார், நீங்கள் கொஞ்சம் அட்வைஸ் பண்ணுங்கள், நீங்கள் என்ன சாப்பிட்றீங்க, நான் வந்து ஒரு 100 முட்டை சாப்பிடுவேன் சார். ஐ ஆல்மோஸ்ட் ஃபெயிண்டட். 100 முட்டை இல்லை சார், இப்போ வந்து இந்த இது வருது சார், காம்படிஷன் வருது, கொஞ்ச நாள் அப்படி சாப்பிட்டா தான் சார் வரும். அண்ட் வாட் தே டூ இஸ், தே டேக் 100 eggs white, throw the yellow, and don't take water. This other, this one, and why they don't take water is, then only the body will get little dehydrated and all your muscles will show. So when they go for the competition, it will show nicely. So finally this person took, and they take all sorts of medicines, medicine, growth factor, testosterone, so many drugs they take, which is, one fellow actually developed a kidney failure, one gym master who looking very smart, very muscular, very good in his work, developed kidney failure. Another fellow, sperm count 0, because testosterone, so much of testosterone is taken, the sperm count became 0. I said, what is wrong with you guys? You shouldn't. But they don't listen, they will just nod their head. நீங்கள் சொல்கிறது கரெக்டு சார், ஆனால் காம்படிஷன் இருக்குது சார், நாங்கள் போய் தான் ஆகணும். சரி, நான் மிஸ்டர், லாஸ்ட் இயர் ஐ வாஸ் மிஸ்டர் மெட்ராஸ் சார், ஸோ ஐ ஹவ் டு கோ சார் அப்படின்னு. ஃபைன், தேர் ஆல் வெரி யங் பீப்புள், 28, 30, feel very sad for them. Now, how to deal with obesity? It is, now I have told you a lot of things like inverted pyramid and all that, try to avoid that. There are only 2 methods to stop. One, like a bank balance, stop putting 10,000 rupees. If you don't put 10,000 rupees every month, automatically the bank balance will come down, because as you go on withdrawing the money, it will come down. So, take less of diet. And second, exercise. Exercise will burn whatever the excess. So you have to go into negative. See, you have to go into such, if you want to lose weight, you have to go, the calorie intake is 1,000, but the amount burnt is 2,500. So where this 1,500 excess will come from? It will come from the stored fat and the muscle. Okay, so you have to do diet and exercise, or a combination of both. When we advise our patients, they say, diet எல்லாம் முடியாதுங்க, எக்ஸசைஸ் பண்ணி அந்த அடிஷ்னலாக சாப்பிட்டதும் பர்ன் பண்ணிடுறோம். That is impossible. That is impossible to burn. Okay, now if you run for 30 minutes continuously, maximum you will burn is 400 calories. If you run for half an hour. Okay, because every day I go for running every day. I see the amount of calories which are burnt. Maximum you can burn is 400 calories. So you have to, how many people can run half an hour, you tell me? It's almost impossible. They may do it for a short period. Say, in January they do generally. They take a New Year resolution. This year I am going to lose weight. From January 1 to January 15 it goes fine. Then after that stops. It's impossible to lose weight only by exercising. Not at all possible, because for you to burn 400 kilos, you have to run for half an hour. So that is the easier way is to do dieting and then exercise, both together. Dieting is, in my opinion, easier than exercising, because the other problem with exercising is when you exercise and see, these people will not be able to run. This extremely obese people will not be able to run, and even if they run, they'll get, within no time they'll get their knee joint, back pain, all those things, and after that, to go for 2 days running, next 15 days no activity, because they'll be just lying down doing nothing. So exercise can be done only after you reach a certain, by diet you reduce your weight and then do it. Then the main problem is rice in our country. Rice is the biggest enemy, because morning idli, again afternoon rice, again night some from either dosa or something which has got rice in some indirect way. So rice is the problem. Why even in the rice we eat the worst rice, because we are eating this white rice. The rice in Kerala, the red rice, that is much better. The west coast, they eat this red rice, so that is much better. The reason is, the white rice, the sugar shoots up like a spike, because the sugar shoots up very high. What happens is, the body will secrete the insulin to reduce the sugar. So the insulin is also secreted in excess. So over a period of time, what happens is, the pancreas will fail and the insulin secretion will not come. Whereas compared to rice, if you take millets, the sugar will not get absorbed suddenly in a high way. It will slowly over a period. So that will make you feel comfortable, and it will not cause much strain to your pancreas, and you will not have insulin problems. Okay, so millets is much better. Millets is the best. Now even our Prime Minister, I think, is trying to promote. Only problem of millets is it is more expensive than rice. Okay, wheat is better than rice. Millets is better than wheat. See, carbohydrates everybody has to take. Without carbohydrates you cannot live. So you have to, of course there are diets now without carbohydrates, but that's not advisable. So millets is the best form of this one for eating. So that can be again tried. And if diet and exercise both are not working, then you have no other go but to undergo surgery. We call it as bariatric surgery. So we do a lot of this bariatric surgery. So that is the other thing. So calories required I have already mentioned. Next slide. Diet, how to eat. So I have told not to take water in between meals, and chew your food well. Try to go more for millets. Okay, try less carbohydrates than is required. Only, and so many things which I have already mentioned in my talk already. So carbohydrate versus fat versus protein, again 60-20-20 or 60-10-30 something. Carbohydrate should not be more than 60%. The moment it is more than 60%, it will tend to increase your weight. And pyramidal system, I already told you. Next. So this is one patient of mine who was before the operation surgery, and this is the same lady after the surgery. Now, normally we don't display this, because this person may even be known to one of you. So normally we don't display it, but this lady was so happy that she said, "Sir, you please put my photo wherever you want. I want, and please educate the people, because it has dramatically changed my life. I want even the other people to have this benefit." So that is the reason why I am putting it. There are some 2-3 patients that who have given it in, they have given it in writing. You can put my name, you can put it in newspaper, TV, wherever you want, you put it. No problem, because I want other people also to benefit. So we can get very good results, but also it requires lot of determination on the person's part. So unless we also do a psychological assessment, so this person will not fit into this will not follow. There's no point. So after that only it is selected, and then we do so. So surgery is the last resort, not the first one. You try for diet, exercise, everything. Once it fails, then the last resort is surgery. So I think we have given an overview of obesity. If you have any particular thing to be clarified, I can. Thank you. Yes, sir.
No. No. Bariatric surgery it's a metabolic surgery where we don't remove the fat from everywhere. It's not like that. We do some procedures inside the abdomen, in the stomach, either reduce the stomach size or do a bypass so that whatever they eat, it will not fully get absorbed. See, because in these people, there's a failure on their part to maintain the body weight. So we have to give less calories, no other go. So we do a bypass or reduce the size of the stomach inside. So that overall the patient, what you are telling is probably liposuction, where
there's a localized, only one area is, some people have excess fat in the breast, male persons. So that you can do liposuction and remove. If it is localized one area, you can do liposuction. You can mechanically remove it. Otherwise, we have to go for bariatric surgery, where inside the abdomen you have to do some procedure to reduce the absorption of the food. So even if you eat 100, only 40% will get absorbed, like that. Yes, sir.
that's what the keto diet is fully. They go into what is
Called as, they take more of fat. See, fat gives a high amount of calories, 9 calories per 1 gram. Okay, so they take only fat and they don't take carbohydrate, and they try to see. It is okay. It works. My anesthetist is taking this kind of diet, and he is happy with it. But it is sustainable, but you have to be very careful. See, anything, if you go against, it's not natural. If you go anything against the nature, it is not good. It will has its own problems. See, it will also produce high amount of fat in the blood. See, you may come down, appearance-wise you may come down, but if it goes high into and produces a lot of fat inside the blood, it will get again deposited. I told you, high fat in this one blood will get deposited in the blood vessels. So it will produce those kind of problems. It is not at all advisable. There are so many people who will promote it because it becomes a financial thing for them. So they get money, but it's again going against nature. I will not advocate that at all.
If you stop eating at 6 o'clock, they have food at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on the following day. How does it work?
See, they are reducing
The amount of time they eat. See, in this 24 hours, they eat only in 6 hours. Okay, 18 hours they will not eat. See, again, this does not. This is intermittent fasting is there in all religions also. Even in religious, Yes, fasting on Saturday, fasting on Thursday, so many things are there. And Muslims fast 1 month in Ramzan. Again, these are all examples of intermittent fasting. This is there.
No, no, same thing.
The principle is the same. So, but again, if it works, it works. But see, in the 6 hours again, they'll pack everything into the 6 hours, and see, finally you have to have the determination. Whether if you have the determination, that's more than enough. I'm going to lose weight, determination. You have to be very motivated. Otherwise, it will not work. Even intermittent, they will find their way of putting on weight. Eating in such a way that it will increase this one.
What is the rate of success in bariatric surgery? Is there a specific way they have to follow, or is there
No, definitely, see, definitely will reduce the rate. But people who,
We also give them advice to follow certain things. If they follow our advice very precisely and correctly, then the weight loss they will almost come to the normal range. It is quite successful. But again, depends on the patient. Again, and also depends on the quality of the surgery also. See, occasionally what happens is one person will have a problem and it will result in a death, and that will get every newspaper will put that story, and then immediately the surgeries will reduce till it is forgotten. Then again it will. So it is successful, but the degree of success depends on the patient. And how they also, see, the surgery is not only surgery. It's surgery plus they have to follow certain things.
chapati, that is wheat is better than rice? Well, I guess both have the same glycemic index. Is it because they are
no, the white rice,
carbohydrates, or is it
the white rice is having a
More higher glycemic index than wheat. Wheat is slightly better, but millets is markedly better. Millets is the best for this. But millets in large quantity is also not good, because that has also got a higher caloric this one. But it gets absorbed slowly. So it keeps if you eat millets, you feel full. You feel complex. So to get it broken down and then get absorbed takes time. And you feel full. And if they eat at the night, they have very good sleep. If you ask people who are taking millets, they say, previously I never used to sleep, so now very, very peaceful sleep I get. Because the sugar is neatly maintained at a correct pace, instead of spike like that with rice.
This is regarding protein intake. So is that mandatory should have 1.5 gram of protein for every kg? I've been reading a lot about protein. Should have a lot of protein for your food.
yes, approximately. See, but the thing is,
If you take excess, anything in excess is not good. Because protein, if you take in excess, it has to be put out by the kidneys. So it is deleterious to the kidneys. That's what I was mentioning. This gym persons, they used to take excess protein to build up their muscles. Protein is required for muscle. Muscles is mainly made up of protein. So if you want to build up muscle mass, you have to take a lot of protein. So they take excess protein and they land up in problem.
slightly you have to take more protein.
Because, see, when you lose weight, when you are working, exercising, it breaks down the body fat, but it also breaks down the body muscle. So you tend to lose muscle. So you have to little bit do muscle toning, and you have to take slightly more protein for that. You have to do it. So there are dietitians and who will advise you in this. Okay, so that has to be done. Otherwise, the body mass will come down. Muscle index, this one will come down.
I always have a doubt. When it comes to afternoon, I generally face afternoon slump after my lunch. So
Afternoon?
I slump, like,
Yes.
I feel very sleepy or drowsy, especially we have a desk, we work in the desk, right? So, after lunch, maybe like for 1 hour I'm normal, then after that I feel very sleepy or a bit lazy. So is it a problem with the diet that I have, or should we have a minimal amount of...
See, again it is related to the high carbohydrate diet because after sleep the
Blood sugar will go very high. Even in normal persons, it goes. Of course, normal person much less than a diabetic, but still it goes up big, and that will produce some amount of drowsiness. It's because related to high carbohydrate intake and also taking excessive curds in the afternoon. If you take curd also, it's supposed to produce more sleep. This kind of drowsy feeling at work. So if you try reduce, do you take a lot of curds? No, try to eat less and just try it in the afternoon. See, that's what the bulk of the eating should be done in the morning, then in the lunch time, then night is the minimal.
After having the lunch, we must wait for 45 to 40 minutes to 1 hour to drink water. Is it there for physical activity, like, for going for walking or doing something?
you can go on drinking. See,
Drinking lot of water is very, very good. But only thing I am telling is don't drink water immediately after food, along with food. Along with food, don't combine it, that's all. Otherwise, you have the entire day. You can take. As soon as you get up, take 500 ml of water. Empty stomach. Very good. So the amount of water is good. See, our body is made up of 60% of our body is water. Our chemical content, if you see, of our body is 60% is water. So water replenishment is very, very important. You have to drink a lot of water. No doubt, but don't take water along with food. You can take it before food. You take half an hour before food. If you are eating lunch at 1 o'clock, take at 12:30. By the time you have your lunch, it will just empty off. You will be eating on an empty stomach. And your water requirement also is done.
Having a lunch. Should I, if I go immediately for walking, is it advisable? Because my mother used to say, don't walk immediately, sit for some time. So I don't know, is it the right thing?
no. After food, you should not do strenuous work. Not supposed to.
Otherwise, you can work. That's not a problem. Strenuous work is not advisable. If you have a lot of strenuous work, have a very light lunch and then work. Strenuous means manual work I'm saying. Not if you're sitting in front of computer, that is not strenuous work.
So on behalf of Theosophical Society and everyone present here, I would like to extend gratitude to Dr. Vishwanath Pai to come here and sharing his thoughts and telling us on obesity problems and how to tackle them. And I request our General Manager, Mr. Jaykumar Kannanji, to share with him this token of our gratitude, appreciation. It's a book on this Adyar campus. Again, please. Again. For the. Okay.
I hope this talk was useful. Yeah. Thank you.
We have identified a speaker for the coming WFL talk. He's sitting here and I know him for 2 days. He is a specialist in yoga therapy. He does it for a living actually. And he took Diksha from his sister, I'm told. And he is going to talk about yoga, meditation, pranayama and everything. So next, I think second or third Saturday of next month, I think we will have a talk by Mr. Venugopal. Thank you very much.
This session is now closed. Thank you.